I've been on the internet for, at this point, so long that it feels like my entire life, even though it's really only been a little less than 2/3. But that's still a long time. That's still a long time to get used to being on the internet. And in a lot of that time, almost a whole third of my life, I have been an online figure with some level of a platform, which means I've gotten pretty used to how toxic the internet can be. And I've seen a lot of communities and a lot of areas of the internet, and boy, can they get toxic, but there is nothing that brings out the worst in people more than the combination of the internet and politics. The people you will find in certain political internet spheres are some of the most toxic, awful people you will ever see. They will engage in doxing and swatting, coordinated harassment. They will, and when they try to do attempts like swatting, it's sometimes to try and harm someone's life, like to potentially get them killed. There are a lot of very evil people online that will use the internet to go after those that arbitrarily get selected as their targets. More often than not, it's done for political reasons. Sometimes it's done for petty personal reasons. But almost always, the people who engage in just the most abhorrent online behavior are part of very niche communities online that are sometimes, usually but not always, right-wing and very edgy and toxic. They exist on niche forums, private Telegram groups, and group chats and Discord servers and whatnot, and they'll coordinate harassment and attacks on people. There are many examples of this happening. A really good example of this is, how many of you are familiar with Save a Fox? This is a problem that's gotten really bad in the last year or so, but who's familiar with Save a Fox? Save a Fox was the target of a real-life and online harassment campaign coordinated primarily by her dedicated snark community. Now, if you don't know what a snark community is, it's basically a new era of what used to be in the past, this trend of being an anti-fan, being a dedicated hater to a figure, and organizing around building a community around hating that figure, and ensuring that they always know that there is a large group of people watching their every move and sort of categorizing it and documenting it. The best way of putting it is the Kiwi farmers were the first snarkers. Now, a big part of snarkers, though, is they're not just doing it because of this, like, cynical edgelord idea. Like, in a way, you can almost respect a Kiwi farmer more because they're very honest about what they are. But when it comes to snarkers, there's always an air of moral superiority, that anything they do to the target of their ire is justified no matter how far they go, because they're so surrounded with agreement that that person is awful. So there was a YouTuber named Save a Fox, and she had two types of content online. The first was running a fox rescue sanctuary where she saved foxes and took care of them and had, like, ambassador animals and stuff. I'm sure you're familiar with the animal rescues that have online presences, like Urban Rescue Ranch and stuff, or Maya with Alveus Sanctuary. I'm sure you guys are familiar with all that. So she does a similar thing, or did a similar thing. And on the side, she also did OnlyFans as some extra supplemental income. Just making fox videos, doesn't necessarily pay for the expenses of running a fox sanctuary. So a little extra money on the side, right? Snarkers decided to start manufacturing a narrative that she was engaging in sexual activity with her foxes. The only evidence, of course, being that she runs an animal sanctuary and also does OnlyFans. And the snarkers and whatnot proceeded to dox her, inundate her and her husband with harassment, and I believe it was late last year or early this year, she ended her own life. It was big news. It was really big news. And this has gotten to be a really big trend. I know I've only given one example here, but really think about it, and I think you'll notice that this kind of behavior has gotten really, really prevalent lately, particularly the snark communities, which, of course, Save a Fox Snark is the community often credited as harassing Save a Fox to the point of suicide and attacking her career and income and ability to run a sanctuary and her reputation to the point where the only person in her life who wasn't buying into all of the rumors they were spreading about her was her husband. We're in an era where people have never been more dedicated to hating online figures, oftentimes for nothing. And the reason why I tell this story is so that you have an idea of just how bad it already is and what's already happened and what these snarky kind of communities online, these like dedicated hate communities, these trolls, they would like you to call them trolls, but they're not. They're, in old internet speak, you might call them A-loggers. Like on Kiwi Farms, they would be called A-loggers. Before that, they would just be called obsessive stalkers. Even today, but today now they're just, it's considered kind of normal behavior. Like dedicated hate communities have just gotten so much more radical. Wait, so that's why I haven't seen any proper videos of Finnegan the Fox for years now? Yes, because the rescuer who runs that channel that raised Finnegan committed suicide because of internet harassment, primarily being one of the larger reasons. The harassment extended outside the internet, but it started from the snark communities online. So the Reddit page, the Save a Fox snark Reddit page, the Reddit community, is basically overwhelmingly like considered the people who killed her. Like the internet just agrees that snark community killed her, and Reddit took down the snark community. They banned them because even Reddit agreed. So yeah, that said, there are cases of dedicated hate communities online pushing creators to suicide, pushing good people to suicide. Like, of all people, the lady who saves animals? Bro, she doesn't do or say anything controversial, I guess, other than the fact that she did OnlyFans on the side, and that was part of what they attacked her with, so maybe that was what set them off. But it's very weird because these people did it under the grounds of moral superiority. They didn't just go after her with mean words and harassment. They went to everybody in her sphere and lied about her and destroyed opportunities and burned her bridges in a way that she couldn't stop and had no control over, all while the people doing it to her were on their high horses playing moral superior. Never have I seen this type of behavior so normalized online. Horrible story, I know, but it's important context, because you need to know just how vile these people can be. Otherwise, you're going to go into this story repeatedly asking, how could someone do this? Who could do this? Why would they do this? Now you have your answer. Evil exists, and the internet has allowed for it to gather in large numbers and organize itself like never before. This story, genuinely, like, I'm a little late to this story here that we're about to get to, but it unironically makes me kind of mad.
A Valley grandma who went viral for playing video games to raise money for her grandson's medical bills just had her home swatted. Police swarmed the area after being falsely told that she had been shot and killed.
She and her grandson sat down with 12 News journalist Chase Golightly to talk about the scary...
This was an elderly woman who live streams Minecraft on Twitch to raise money for her terminally ill, presumably terminally ill. He might obviously go into remission or something. I don't know. Her cancer-having grandson for his cancer treatment. There has never been, and there's no like room for claiming there's lies here or anything. Like, we've seen the kid like on chemo and stuff. He's done interviews and stuff. The grandma is real. Like, they're raising money for real treatment. Like, there's no room for, oh well, maybe they're making it up for publicity or something. I'm sure the people that went after them might have convinced themselves that that's a possibility, but this story, I feel, is emblematic of one of the most impossible for a normal person to say fuck this kind of thing, right? Like a grandma streaming video games to raise money for her sick grandson. How can you hate that? How can your response to that be to send a SWAT team to their house? Now, keep in mind, the SWAT team going to their house isn't just a problem. It's not just an annoying or traumatic experience. When they called the SWAT team, what they said was that the grandson had murdered the grandmother. That is what the swatter told the police falsely. Meaning that in reality, the goal of the swatter was for the SWAT team to kill the grandson under the belief that he was a violent criminal who'd killed his grandma and was holding people in the house hostage with a gun. They reported an active shooter. They reported that the grandson was an active shooter at the house, hoping that the SWAT team would show up and kill the grandson in front of the grandma. What these people wanted to see was the grandma's reaction to the SWAT team murdering her grandson, who she is raising money in order to pay for the treatment of. I guarantee you that is the mindset of the people who did this. When I tell you that the vileness of these communities online and the degree to which they have very creative and numerous ways to try and kill their targets online, it's no joke. And this isn't even getting into more insane communities like 764, the like satanic pedophile Nazi cult that has groomed multiple school shooters who then wrote their manifestos, and it all references 764, and how the groups literally organize on Discord trying to groom children into shooting up their local school. Oh no, what? Oh, you don't know about 764? Well, this is just another one of the communities that I'm talking about. 764 refers to a decentralized global online extremist network that targets, grooms, and extorts vulnerable children and teenagers into committing acts of self-harm, animal abuse, and violence. The FBI classifies the group as a nihilistic violent extremist group or extremist threat and has issued major warnings to parents about the network. The network, which emerged in 2021, takes its name from the first 3 digits of the zip code for Stephenville, Texas, where the group was founded. Members methodically seek out vulnerable, at-risk minors on social media, messaging apps, and online gaming forums. Predators build trust with the victims and then use threats, blackmail, and manipulation to force them to film explicit content or acts of self-harm. The illicit footage is shared among network members to maintain control, continue extorting the victim, and build influence within the community. Law enforcement agencies, including the FBI and the NYPD, advise parents to watch for the following warning signs their child may be targeted by or involved in these networks: carvings, words, or symbols on their skin, unexplained frequent self-harm or talking openly about suicide and death, family pets or other animals being harmed or displaying uncharacteristic fear towards the child, sudden changes in behavior such as wearing long sleeves in hot weather to hide injuries, law enforcement showing up to the home under false pretenses known as swatting. Of course, these 764 people love to swat each other, so it's a lot. It's a lot. So as you can see, there are some pretty degenerate circles that have grown on the internet in the last 5 years. Like the 2020s in particular, these last few years have been really bad for just the worst communities online gaining prominence and a platform, and there's just not any pushback against it. It's really weird. We're just kind of accepting this behavior as normal now, because it kind of is. This is kind of normal now. Like a grandma live streaming to raise money for her sick grandson, that's swatting, her getting swatted. That's a normal thing on today's internet now.
Scary situation, and how it isn't stopping her from doing what she loves.
She's known as Grandma Crackers.
I need to get some food for the cats.
The 81-year-old YouTube sensation, whose real name is Sue Jackwit, has more than 600,000 subscribers. She makes Minecraft videos to help pay for her grandson, Jack Self's, medical bills.
The insurance company won't touch.
With the help of Jack and his brother Austin, she's streamed for the past 15 days 24/7 to raise money. It's her first time doing something like this. And Monday night was another first for her and her family.
Did you ever think it was going to happen to you?
No.
Just after 11 p.m., they got a call from police.
We got a call that Jack shot his grandma and killed her, and that he was going to kill himself. And
so as you can see, they specifically called in the SWAT team with the goal of the SWAT team killing the sick grandson. They were targeting the grandson. That was their goal. What's so fucked about it, it's almost more fucked than if they had said the grandma did something, right? Because what the swatters were trying to make happen was the police to shoot and possibly kill the grandson, who the entire idea of the grandma's presence online is to save the grandson from cancer. It's like the ultimate act of like personalized evil against this grandmother who's just trying to raise money for her grandson.
And right then I was like, whoa. Right as I heard that, it was kind of like a punch to the stomach.
Jack explained that wasn't the case, that this was a swatting call, a situation where someone makes a false report to 911. It's a felony that has happened countless times to streamers all over the country. Still, police had to take the situation seriously. They say Queen Creek police in full gear surrounded their home, asking each person to step outside with their hands up.
There were like 10, 15 cops, all with riot shields, ARs. All of them had ARs. And bright lights that can see down the whole street.
Jack says they then started going through the house and then checked on Grandma Crackers, who was asleep. Her stream shows officers walking into her room, eventually waking her up.
They came in and one person took one arm and the other, and they just sort of escorted me out and they were apologizing. And there was a police lady, gorgeous, beautiful brown eyes. She was so sweet, but I think she could have kicked butt, you know, if there'd been a problem. I just wondered what my grandkids had done.
They say officers were there for 3 hours investigating and determined it was in fact a swatting call.
They're not exactly sure where it was from.
The family wondering who would ever do something like this to them.
Whether it's harm or they want us to get upset or they want to upset Grandma Crackers on stream. The police were so professional and amazing.
While it was scary, this gaming grandma wasn't going to let it stop her.
I've got to get up tomorrow. I can't stay up and stew about this, so I took a Benadryl and went to bed.
The next day, she was back streaming.
Well, it makes you, you think, they're not going to tell me what I can do. They're not going to make me afraid to do that.
Receiving thousands of comments from her viewers showing their support.
They've been so kind and they've been concerned about how I was. How are you doing?
While it's an experience they wish they didn't have to go through, it's brought their family and community closer.
I can't thank people enough for how kind they are to her.
Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. Go Grandma Crackers. Queen Creek Police.
I will say it is nice to see some positive coverage of a live streamer on the news for once, you know? I remember when I first learned of swatting, will always be the Kutra swatting. I was a huge fan of the creatures back in the day. None of you will even know what I'm talking about unless you're an unk like me. But dude, oh my god. It seemed like swatting had kind of died as a trend for a while, but now it's back? Like, what fucking asshole sacrificed like a bunch of children to Satan to bring swatting back?
Call it a prank, others call it revenge, but swatting is a crime costing taxpayers thousands of dollars in emergency resources. We checked, and swatting has been a problem in Colorado for years. In 2005, Colorado Springs police received a call claiming a father and daughter were being held hostage in their home. The location was real, but the incident was fake. Situations similar to today's incident have been reported throughout the country. Earlier this year, in April, a 17-year-old boy in New York was swatted while playing the video game Call of Duty online. And we found celebrities aren't immune to this either. Both Justin Bieber and Kim Kardashian have been victims of swatting too. The FBI could get involved if authorities determine today's phone call was placed from somewhere outside of Colorado.
You're watching the SWAT team busting.
The crazy thing about this, this isn't a house. Usually, what is swatting? It's when somebody, some anonymous person on the internet makes an anonymous phone call to the police reporting a public figure, usually a live streamer, for a crime falsely, with their address, sends the police to their house while they're live streaming so that the house gets raided by a SWAT team. Shots could be fired. People could die. That's oftentimes part of the goal of the swatter, is to basically have the police go and kill the person they don't like online. It's happened that people have died in swattings. The police have killed people who had SWAT teams called on them falsely. It's basically just like the nuclear option for people on the internet. Like, when you're a public figure, you have to protect your, keep your address from leaking, keep your private info from leaking, because if people on the internet get it, then they have ways to threaten your life. Like, it's not just like, oh, they come to your house and they kill you, or something like that. They'll try to send SWAT teams to your house. They could, they could try and, like, hell, they could just go to your house and, like, start sabotaging your fucking car or something. You never know, right? But obviously the swatting method is a very easy one that almost anybody could do if your address is leaked. Oh my god, that's scary. Yeah, you got to protect your identity online. Don't let people find... If you're anybody on the internet, if you're anybody and you exist on the internet, you got to protect your private info. It's vital, because this could happen to you.
Into a Littleton office, all caught on a webcam. Now, right now, security measures have been lifted. Employees allowed back into the building at Mineral near Broadway.
Yeah, so this is the crazy part. The creatures didn't operate out of a house at this time. Like, they weren't like a normal, like, YouTuber streaming group that, like, is just a group of buddies living in a house together. They did do that at one point, but at this point, they had gotten an office building. They had rented a floor of a business office building. And there were other businesses that operated on the other floors and in the other units, and they had their own rented unit with, like, I don't know, like 12, 14 rooms, like office rooms and a hallway and a kitchenette and whatnot. And this entire building was swatted by the people that were targeting Kutra. Just to target this one group of YouTubers that operated out of an office building, one floor, one unit of an office building, they swatted the entire office building, and the police had to evacuate the whole building. Multiple unrelated businesses having to hold their hands up as they walk down, like, just people who went to work that day, now their hands above their head, guns on them. They have guns on them, like, they're suspects for now, because they're there, It's like, genuinely one of the worst things you can do is swatting. I have no respect for it.
After what police are calling a false report about a shooting. Well, Lance Hernandez is live where all the confusion took place. This was just a short while ago. And Lance, what exactly happened here?
Well, and police say someone called 911 about 11:30 this morning and said that he had shot multiple office workers in this building on the 1200 block of West Mineral. Now, this was the scene this morning as police and fire officials responded en masse, implementing an act.
It's over-militarized police response part of the problem? Is over-militarized police response part of the problem? Yes and no. The problem is, like, guys, we all agree, like, it sucks when we see a false call to the SWAT team made and we see them go through their whole procedure with people we know are innocent and are the victims here. It sucks. It makes you angry. It's like, how do the cops not know? But then obviously you see a situation like the Uvalde cops not running in and handling the situation. It's like, okay, yeah, like, the fact is that 99.9% of the time, Mr. Veggie, don't even joke. Don't even joke about that. Don't even fucking joke about it. I'm tempted to ban you for suggesting that. Genuinely. Like, you have one warning, and if you joke about swatting anybody ever again, you're banned forever. I don't care who it is or how much we don't like them. I'm sorry, Mr. Veggie, but don't even joke, okay? I'm going to take that as a joke, but don't even joke again about something like that, okay? So yeah, the police have to take it very seriously, because 99.99% of the time, it's real. And lives are in danger if the police don't act and do exactly what they need to. The cases where it's done as a prank, though, that it's impossible for the police to know for sure. They have to do their job. The onus is entirely on the swatters. There needs to be, like, honestly, I'd vote for, if it was on the ballot, like, I'd vote death penalty for anyone who calls a SWAT team on someone falsely. Like, I'd vote for the death penalty for it. Full capital punishment.
Active shooter protocol. They evacuated the building. These are pictures of employees leaving with their hands up. When police went inside the Creatures LLC, an online gaming company, this is what they found. A man playing a game online with a camera on himself as police stormed in. You can see police hand.
Dude, I remember my, like, 14-year-old brain was unironically concerned that Kutra might get in trouble because the cops realize he's playing on the terrorist side in CSGO. I was worried that, like, I was really worried that, like, while he's getting handcuffed, the pop-up would happen. It would say, terrorists win. I was like, no, 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 no. That is not a time where you want that pop-up to happen. That's insane. I was really worried.
Cuff him as they try to find the shooter. It turns out there wasn't one. Police now trying to find out who called with that false report. They're telling us that if they find the person responsible, they will arrest him and charge him. And
this video is getting a lot of traffic on our website this evening and retweets from around the world. It shows this.
It was a big story. It was a big story. It was like, this was how a lot of people learned what swatting was. I think I had an idea of what it was before, but it was like a mythical concept that never really happened. It was like an idea, it was like quicksand, you know? Like, you heard about it, you never encountered it. It was never a problem. But good Lord, has it gotten to be a real problem. It died out. Like, post 2014-15, it seemed like swatting didn't really happen as much anymore, and now it is back in full force. It is back in full force, it would seem. And targeting those that really, really don't deserve it. Really, really don't deserve it. No one does, but, like, some people really, really don't. And that grandma is a great example of someone who really, really didn't deserve it. Anyway, that's pretty much it.